It's me, Pocket of Rocks, and I'm back for Episode 4. This is Game 1 of Brawler Bash. And we're playing this at the world-famous Atomic Empire. It's got great venue, beer, all kinds of cool games and hobbies and things to look at, and a really large area to play games. So if you ever get a chance, go to North Carolina, go to Durham, check it out. It's a squirrel. It's a fighting squirrel. That's our mascot, and we're going to see what happens today in the Brawler Bash Game 1. I'm going up against the Warriors of the Dark Gods. These are the kind of like evil Viking people. That's the way I see him. He's got a Lord of Chaos running around on a Disc of Change. He's got a Harbinger of Chaos. He's got a Sorcerer with 3 spells and a Book of Arcane Power and a bunch of Barbarians and Chosen, a Battle Shrine. It's going to be a tough fight, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm playing a guy, his name's Daryl, and we've never played before. He just seems like a really nice guy, and we have a lot of fun in this game. So I've talked about the Brawler Bash special rules before, but basically we're trying to get as many victory points as we can. We're trying to kill the other general. We're trying to get table quarters. We have some special scenario points, and we also have these lucky day scenario cards. So we're off to deployment. So we both deploy our troops kind of in a line as such. He won the roll-off. We both tried to go first. He won the roll-off by a little bit to go first. And I can see here that I deployed my Knight Commander here with the Strength 7 weapon on a flank, trying to hope to bring him in. I got my main block with my General and my heroes, my BSB here deployed. And then over here on the right side of my board, I put my Inquisitor into this group of readers because he's light troop, thinking that he'll be able to help support this side of the table and possibly kind of take on in a suicide challenge his general, which is flying around here on this gyrocopter that's representing his disc. Here's our magic cards. He rolls some pretty good magic here with the 2 Thaumaturgy spells. He's got these other wild spells, Atomic Summon. That ends up being a big problem for me, and so does Break the Spirit later on in this game. So it's turn 1, and he goes first. He brings down his Barbarians. These guys here, I think, have some throwing axes. He's going to try to throw them into my readers. We're going to have a little bit of a fast cavalry face-off here. We'll see how that goes. His wolves move down a little bit on the left, and he's got his, I think they're Crusher Knights is what they're called, on the big wolves. Let's see, I don't know. They're pretty good unit here. I'm looking at my list. I apologize. Crusher Knights. Yep, they're Crusher Knights. He brings them down. This is some Monsters Cavalry. I'm pretty concerned about these guys. We're going to see what happens. I think a little bit he nudges things up a little bit on the right. We go here. He's going to throw some axes at me, I believe. He moves his dogs up. Now, one of the things I really like about his army, he's got everybody named. I don't know if you can see that here. This is Barky and Fluffy and Flash, and maybe this is Slash. He's got all of his guys named here. Tobias, Kurt. Everybody in his army's got a name. I think that's great. It's a really nice, fun game we're having here. Another look at what's going on. And another look. So, down to my turn. He just moved up a little bit. I put on, it looks like a spell here to buff myself up. Here, I shoot my pistols at him and do some pretty good damage to his barbarians. And his turn, I think he shot at me, and I was able to save both of them, so I had no damage on me. He's got his BSB. This guy, Alexander, is his BSB up there towards the top of the screen. So after shooting, I've eliminated everyone but one guy. But you know what? One guy at a fast cavalry can be enough to cause me problems here. I put a few wounds on him, I think maybe with my crossbowman or my volley gun. Can't remember. And we're into round 2. He decides to charge into my militia, which are in the woods. And I know he's going to kill them if he gets to them. It looks like I did kill one. And he moves his lone barbarian rider wisely in front of my volley gun. So I'm going to have to be forced to probably shoot that thing with my volley gun as opposed to shooting a more lucrative target in my following turn. And it looks like such. So he's using this old Empire war wagon here as his battle shrine. I really like that way that he's using that model. He moves his general down on the disc / gyrocopter down here facing me. That's going to be a problem for me. And it looks like so. I do a little bit more shooting, it looks like here. And in his turn, he brings in this bear. He summoned this bear using his totemic submarine. This guy is going to cause me a lot of trouble. This bear that's down at the bottom of the table. Brought this guy in, facing the rear of my lines. I am not liking that. I tried to stop it, but I wasn't able to. Kills a couple of my guys off here, I think with some shooting or a spell. He killed the militia here. They were overran into my unit of flagellates here. Luckily, I got this spell off to give me, I think it's 5-up ward save in close combat. So then it's my turn here, and he decides to charge, or I decide to charge into his dogs. He decides to flee with them. So I redirect, pass leadership test, redirect into this unit of barbarians with this unit of knights, and he flees with them. Now I've charged twice. Now I just end up going into a failed charge there. So we're looking at the fight here. I bring in, I charge out of the unit this Inquisitor into this unit of these Crusher Knights, thinking, well, they're multi-wound units. I got Axe of Battle. If I can get some multi-wound hits against him, that can really maybe sway this battle. I didn't want to bring the unit that he's with into this unit, because if he gets a lot of wounds on me and I lose combat, my Flagellate unit is unbreakable, but my Inquisitor is not. But I think that he will stick his leadership test, or he'll do enough damage to where I'm hoping that I can actually win this battle. That's my hope, because if I get stuck in a grind, it's going to be an issue. But better look at that. He's got the bear coming in behind me in his turn. I need to try to get through this battle if I can in this turn and break him. So because I did 2 charges, I had to do the failed charge. So that brings me like right up facing his general there. Those guys are going to get whacked the next turn, I'm sure. We'll do a little bit of shooting here. I bring my 2 lone readers back around to face the bear to try to provide some support, do some shooting on him. I don't think they are able to really do any damage. We fight this fight. I take some shots here at his dogs with my pistols. I kill enough of them. They're fleeing towards off the board, so that's good. Right now, I'm feeling okay with about what's going on. I'm forced to use my volley gun to blow up his 1 lone barbarian rider there, and he put a spell on me here, Break the Spirit. That really was an issue. If I move on a dangerous terrain 1 or 2, I'm going to take a casualty. So I'm hesitant to move these readers, and I believe he may even put it on these knights as well. That causes me a problem. I was thinking about charging them into his units, but I do not because of that spell. I hold back. You can see the casualties that he does. Really not that many casualties to me, but I ended up losing the combat, and of course my knight commander breaks and he flees towards the edge of the board, and I really needed him to be in there. He whiffed. He didn't do any damage, I don't believe at all, of significance. I don't even know if he did a wound to those Crusher Knights, and that really is unfortunate. Over here, I brought these halberdmen up to give me some ranks and things, but for some reason, I'm still not able to win this combat, and he doesn't break, and now I'm stuck in a grind, and his bear is going to be bearing down on me next turn. So that's what that looks like. Turn 3. He declares a charge towards my readers here. I decide to flee with them. I lose 1 in a dangerous terrain test here. He redirects. He decides to charge over here, it looks like, where the arrow's at. Redirects then into my knights. I know that was going to happen. And his barbarians continue to flee, and I do believe they end up rallying themselves before the end of the game. They're out of the combat, but I'm not able to actually ever get any points for them, sadly. And of course, the dogs here, they rally as well. So I made them run away, but they're back again. So his bear did make it into combat. He's into the flank of my halberdmen. That's a problem for me. It's going to rack up a little bit more combat res when I need to be wearing him down. He got this other unit of chosen into my unit. So now I'm fighting all these guys at once, and I was really hoping to avoid this type of battle. As you can see, he got that break the spirit off on me here on my unit of knights in his turn. That is preventing me, because I'm afraid of the casualties. I don't have that many guys in this unit. I need to preserve their number so I can keep my ability of the bodyguard rule with my knight commander. If I lose the unit, I lose the ability to have bodyguard and be stubborn. So I decide not to charge his units up here in my turn because of that spell. So it's a very effective spell. I just wasn't able to stop it. He got his BSB actually charged in and got into my crossbowmen. He brings his general around to face my flank. These guys died and ran off the board. The knights at the bottom of the screen. Take a bunch of casualties here from his BSB, of course, who ends up fleeing or overrunning down into this area of the board here, which I'm not too worried about because he's facing away from me, and I can feel like I should be able to turn around and threaten him. My turn 3. We're still fighting this battle. I bring my readers in to try to help get rid of this bear that is a big thorn in my side. I don't charge because of the spell again. I bring my readers over here to shoot at his BSB, and I turn my cavalry unit here with my knight commander with the strength 7 sword to face his BSB. Now I think I am positioned in a manner that he will not be able to get away from me, and I've got him pinned and kind of trapped in the corner, and that's a good source of points for me. Let's see how that works out. He's got his troops kind of formed up in this semicircle in a defensive posture. This battle doesn't go as well as I'd like. The flagellates get killed to the man, which means that I'm not going to be stubborn anymore. I'm not able to get rid of this bear, and my halberdmen are really whittled down to just a few people left. So because I'm not stubborn, my prelate runs away off towards the edge of the board there. No, actually. So he charges in with his bear. And all he had to do was a random movement is touch me because I'm already fleeing and I died. So even though his bear had 2 wounds on him, and if I wasn't fleeing, I probably could have held up against it. He wisely gets an auto kill there. His chosen come into my volley gun here. He won the battle and cleared out all my troops here. I'm looking at an issue at this point. Juggernauts They overrun towards the edge of the board here, facing away from me, fortunately. And his one of his units of chosen come into battle with my main block of knights here. Even though they charged me, I think I've got enough combat power up there. I believe I can handle them. I'm trying to be patient, waiting for those spells to get off so that I can do some charges with my unit of flagellates here and this unit of knights. But I just haven't been able to work it out where I could get the timing right when I didn't have some kind of spell impeding me. Turn 4, I believe. So now it's turn 4. I end up bringing my flagellates up into his unit of chosen here, hoping that if I can get through them, I can threaten his card up there that's above me. That's a war card. That's a buff wagon for him. I do pretty good against this unit of chosen, but it's not enough to break them and get through them. And unfortunately over here, I don't know if you can see it, but his BSB that was over here moved up around behind my troops and got away. I didn't position myself correctly to block him so that he couldn't get away. He's dead. All of this is my dead pool. And we were playing pretty slow. It was the first tournament. My opponent hadn't played much yet. It was first game of the day. I was a little tired. It took a little while to get everything set up, and we just didn't play very quickly. So unfortunately, we didn't get all of our turns in. We only got 4 turns in. We decided to call it there because we're out of time, but the final scoring was pretty massively in favor of the Warriors, the Dark Gods. So with that said, his 2 fleeing troops, they saved themselves. I wasn't able to kill his Juggernauts to get enough points, even though I think he had 1 or 2 of them left. And he was able to kill a good number of points on my side. Not only that, he got the special objectives of getting the table corners. He got his 1,000 points for his card that he selected. I'm not sure exactly which one that was, but he got it. And he got some of the other points. So he got 4,592 points. I only got 790 points. That's really bad. Now you can get up to 8,000 points in this tournament per turn, so it's not a huge victory for him as far as points go, but as compared to what I got, it's a really massive loss. That's going to put me down at the bottom table. So we talked early on while we were driving in, like, hey, don't try to score too high on your first game. You want to submarine. We were saying submarine, and then you come back up. Well, I did more than a submarine. I Titanic'd myself for this tournament. And so that's how it ends. So, good game. Very fun game. I think if you could just see his army, it was really well painted. Very good sport. We had a good time playing. I really enjoyed all the different names and things that he had on his characters. I wish we could have got a couple more turns in. I think I would have been able to get a significant number of points in turns 5 and 6 with the way that things were set up. But really, his magic, I think, was what saved him, was when he put the spell on me that kept me from charging. And then also when he was able to bring, with Atomic Summoning, that bear in to get behind my lines and my halbermen. That was a pretty key points in the game. So that's how first game of Brawler Bash Game 1 goes for me. I'll be at the bottom table, I believe, next turn. So come check me out on my next episode and see how I do. See if I can recover.